I know you heard me on the radio. Flexing, she loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K. I know you heard me on the radio. Flexing, she loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K.
Well, guys, I told you, and it's not good news, but I was worried about certain aspects of this team, and they've kind of come to fruition a little bit here. I can say with confidence one thing, at least. This isn't an elevated team. This isn't going to be a team that's taking a step forward from our previous teams. Now, that may be okay, right? Because we did lose Gio. We did lose Ron. You don't think we're necessarily going to take a step up after losing two legendary players who have basically carried the program for as long as they have, right? But I think, as usual with this program, in the offseason and during the cupcake games and during the open practices and the scrimmages and through Steve Peichel and, his enthusiasm, which you can't really knock, you can't be mad at. But through those things, we start to every season inevitably get a little bit too hyped about this team and think that it's going to take a step up. And unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, I don't know, I don't think this team is necessarily at the end of the year going to turn out that much worse than previous iterations of Steve Peichel's Rutgers basketball team. But I definitely am fairly confident at this juncture, unless they show me something else, I'm fairly confident that at this juncture, the team is going to be either where it's been or it's going to take a step back. And I think where it's been is fine, right? We still have a chance at the tournament, but isn't this the same story, different year? Can't win on the road, blowing leads. We blew a double-digit lead in the second half. Come on. Can't make layups. Guys can't hit shots when the lights come on the road. And I told you that I was worried about Cliff disappearing at points. The second half, he wasn't what we thought he would be, and he wasn't what he was in the first half. Caleb did his job. I mean, Caleb had 16 points. I'm going to look at the box score. Yeah, Caleb had 16 points, 4 assists, Cliff 16. But here's where we get killed. Cam Spencer. 3 points. And this was one of the things that worried me after the Temple game. And some people didn't want to discuss it. It seemed like, when we're out at the rack, Jersey Mike's, playing cupcake teams that aren't in our level. Sure, Cam is just hitting threes and Cliff is getting dunks and the other team is struggling to get inside. But let's face it. If you were at the games and you paid attention, even looking at lower level teams, you had some concerns. Cliff should have been, I don't know, but it looked like it should have been more dominance, more urgency, more going on against this lower level competition, and you wanted more in the Temple game. Miami isn't that great this year the way that tonight looked. You want to just have some composure to hold on to your double-digit lead in the second half, and you blow it. You're missing layups. Hyatt's missing layups at the end of the game. But the thing is, that's nothing new for this team, is it? This team misses layups all the time. This program misses layups all the time. I will say I was watching games this week, this past week, and there are college basketball, they do miss some bunnies, they miss some layups, but we just take the cake. But Cam Spencer, the guy's got a lot of talent. He's a great shooter. He has great potential, and I'm not willing to bury any student athlete, period, or bury this young man right now so early in the season. I'm not. But you got to start to question and wonder, his dominance at the lower level and against lower level teams. Is he having trouble adjusting to these Power 5 teams? I know Temple's not a Power 5 team, but you know what I mean. Top 100 teams, formidable teams, teams that we're going to go up against that matter. Is he up to the task against those teams? So far, he's 0 for 2. Temple and Miami, he's 0 for 2. Caleb, 16 points out of him. I mean, you can't ask for much more. What else do you want? But then, you got Miller with none, Woolfolk with 2, Reber with 2, Simpson with 2. Mag had 9, but he's missing shots, 2. Nobody's stepping up. And if Spencer's not stepping up, we're in deep, 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 deep trouble. But here's the thing. I said it when it happened. I've said it since. I said it in my prediction on the message boards today. I will continue to say it. It's really damn unfortunate, guys. It's really damn unfortunate that Paul Mulcahy jumped on the floor like he did against Columbia in the first game of the season and messed up his shoulder. When he was on the floor writhing in pain, I was like, come on, no. And he's been out both of these games, and I think the team is completely different without him. He's the senior. He's the rising star of the team, him and Cliff. And he hasn't played against two of our biggest tests. And if he doesn't start playing soon, I don't know how much of a hole we're going to be in. You don't have the right point guard on the floor with the experience. Not to mention, the guy's a scoring threat. He has the two-man game with Cliff. He's a rebounding threat. There's so much Paul does for this team, and not having him in there is really tough. But you got to stop with the excuses. Whether it's Paul being hurt or it's some other issue, we're not winning the big games right now. Now, this doesn't get any easier for this team. You got Indiana Saturday. I'll be there. I'm sure all of you will be there. It'll be a packed house. It's at home. They better win that game. I know Indiana's really good. They're projected to win. I don't care. You blew it against Temple. You blew it against Miami. You're at home. You owned Indiana the last few years. Beat them. If they lose against Indiana, then they got Seton Hall coming in. I don't know if that's the next game. I haven't looked at the schedule up that far, but I know it's coming. You better take care of business at some point. And you better start taking care of business away from home, or we're going to have the same trouble we have every year at the end trying to make the tournament. But I'm trying to calm down because here's my thing. As of right now, unless Paul comes back soon and things change drastically, I don't know that this is a tournament team anyway. And many people were saying at the beginning of the year, maybe some of us just got too far ahead of ourselves and we believe the hype too much every year. And it's just simply not a tournament team. Maybe this is an NIT team. Maybe this is not any kind of team. I don't know. But then again, every year we go through this. Every year they struggle in the beginning of the year. Every year they can't hit layups. Every year they blow some game on the road. Yet they still make the tournament. So it's not over. I'm just in a bad mood about it. But the fact is, if you don't get Paul back soon and Cam Spencer doesn't step up soon, you're not going anywhere this year. You got to get Paul back, and Cam Spencer's got to start playing the way he plays against lower-end competition. He's got to start doing that against higher-end competition. If he disappears against every big opponent, then we have not in any way even close to compensated for Gio and Ron leaving, which means we are back to square one. And what's sad about that is once Cliff leaves, I don't know where we are. But I don't want to go so far down the road with the doom and gloom. I'm trying not to. It's just, hey, two tests against two not amazing teams we could win to get respect, to get us in good position, to make, at the end of the year, and for the, confidence booster and whatnot, to show us something as fans that they're taking the step, and 2 times they've failed now. So, and it's not because I think the worry is it's not that, this shots just weren't going in today. This guy was just missing today. No, it's consistencies. Even when we were playing the lower end teams, I said there's some things to worry about with this team. And it continues to show and be consistent, and now it's cost us wins. So there's things to monitor. Paul's health, number 1. Cam Spencer's play, number 2. We got a game pretty quickly coming up Saturday. They better be ready to play. I'll see you guys there, and I'll see you guys after. Go Knights. By the way, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and smash the subscribe button under here. There'll be a lot more fun videos, but at least you could rock out with me when we're not doing so well. I'm a voice. I'm a new podcast. Subscribe. Let's grow this podcast. Let's grow this community. Let's get the channel rolling. Click subscribe. Click like. Share the video. Anyway, again, go Knights.